So guys, there's only 3 more chances.
Age.
There's only 3 more chances to get on the spin wheel.
It's pretty close. Pretty close.
Hey Kenny, thank you for liking the stream. Chris Leo, thank you for sharing the
see you in May. That's awesome, man. Me and Ellie were just talking about it earlier on as well. So we're looking at what date did I say? 7th to the 9th is looking probably the cheapest. Sorry, 2nd of May to the 9th of May. So we're looking.
Vacation the end of May and go to Michigan camping.
There's so many vacations. Wicked, man. All right, take it to the boys. Much love. See you soon.
Whichever one wants to hit me up, hit me up.
No problem. Well, there you go, guys. Mr. John Mill says, out of Oki and Sparky, whoever wants to hit him up first, feel free to. And that lobby has just gone a whole lot fuller since the last time. That's right. It was Nicholas, I think, was there first. Because he came in with Oki.
Well, okay.
So, Nicholas, you're going to be next. Is it Nicholas?
Well done, Tony.
I hope it's Nicholas. Here we go. UK versus UK.
What is it?
Shoot well, man. All the best. Tony, is it Nicholas? I can't remember. I feel really real. I don't want to get his name wrong. You did really well in cricket. Long hurdle, wasn't it? Oh, there you go. That's how I'm going to be thrown for the rest of the night. Toys in every store. Shall I get something a bit more upbeat on?
Yeah.
It's a bit sleepy, this music, isn't it?
Mm. What is this?
Christmas songs. Come on, Craig, you do better than that.
So say, can I be on the list if I have time?
Kevin Salsa, of course you can get on the list, brother. Thank you for letting me know. If anyone does want to take a game tonight, please put your name in the chat. Kevin's going out lady hunting one more time on the Friday night. Some proper songs on now.
Tony said get the wolf tones on.
Get the what?
Wolf tones. Wolf tones.
Oh. Let me have a look. No, Spotify doesn't have that, Tony. It's not on there. No such band or artist found. Good darts. Good dart.
Today I'm going to show you how you can record any game with Streamlabs Desktop and give you the best settings for the highest quality. The first thing you want to do is go to the link in the description and download Streamlabs Desktop and go ahead and open it up so you get to this screen so that you can follow along. First, we're going to go ahead and add the game that we want to our scene here. So you're going to have a blank scene, something like this. Should already have a scene set up. So all we need to do is add a source. This is going to be the game. So we're going to click the plus and then we're going to go to game capture. Add source, and make sure your game is already open at this point. So we're going to click add source. Then it's going to be on mode auto, which is fine. It should auto detect whatever game you have open, but I recommend just going to capture specific window and then going to window and selecting the game that you want it to record. And you can leave all these other settings alone. Just click close. And just like that, your game is ready to be recorded. Now I'm going to show you some of the best settings you can use. We're going to the bottom left here at the options wheel, and then we're going to go to video first. Basically, your base resolution is going to be your monitor's resolution, and then your output scaled resolution is what you're actually recording at. So I recommend you put this at 1920 by 1080, and then you can leave the downscale filter and the FPS type on these values, but make sure you do turn this common FPS value to 60 if you are recording gameplay so that it looks very smooth as games should. Now we're going to go to the output section, and then you might have it on output mode simple here on the top. We're just going to change that to advanced and click recording, not streaming. We are only recording tab. I'm just going to run through these very quickly. You can feel free to copy these depending on your system build, which we'll talk more about in a second. You can leave this on standard. Your recording path is basically just wherever your videos are going to save to. So make sure you know where that is or set it to a custom folder just so you can find your videos easier. With the recording format, I'm going to recommend you just keep it simple with it on MP4. If you are worried about your files getting corrupt or have had a problem with that in the past and then you lose your entire video, you can use MKV and then convert it to an MP4 later. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to recommend MP4. I'm not going to worry about audio just yet. For the recording encoder here, this is actually really important. With an NVIDIA graphics card, a newer one especially, we're going to be using the NVENC new encoder. So with the stream encoders, you essentially have two different encoders that we're going to be choosing from. In most cases, you're going to have your software encoder, which is your CPU, your processor, which is called X264. You do not want to use this in most cases because it's going to use a lot more CPU power, and you're going to need that CPU power to run your game and whatever other programs you have running on your computer, including Streamlabs. So we don't want to take up those resources. What we want to do is use the encoder chip on our graphics card, which for an NVIDIA card, it's going to be NVENC. Now, if you have an AMD card, there is another one. I forget what it's called. I think it starts with a V or something. But that's the one you want to select. You want to make sure you're using your encoder that is on your graphics card, not your CPU. It's going to give you a lot better performance and your game FPS will not suffer. Once you set your encoder up, for the rate control, we're going to be using CQP for recording purposes. We're going to set the CQ level at 17. Anything below a 14, I don't recommend. Anything above 17, I mean, you can play around with it depending on your system build and how it's performing. If you're getting lag and stutter in your recordings, you might want to try turning this up. The lower this number is, the higher the quality, and you can turn it anywhere from 0 to 30, but never go to 14 or below. Always keep it between 14 and 30, but keep in mind the closer to 30 you get, the worse your quality is going to be, but it's going to be easier for your computer to handle. 17's been the sweet spot for me, but you can play around with this. I recommend starting at 17, but slowly move it up one at a time if you do run into issues. You can leave the keyframe interval on auto. The preset, I recommend max quality, but if again you are having performance issues, you're on a lower end PC, you can try lowering this down one by one and see what your performance is like. Profile, leave this on high. Look ahead, leave off. Psycho-visual tuning, leave on. GPU is 0, max B-frames, leave it 2. These are all default values. As far as the audio settings, I'm just going to give you a basic audio setup to get you started. So you should have desktop audio already on here. This is just going to capture any desktop audio that's coming through your computer, your headphones, whatever it may be. So if you have a game up, it's going to capture that. If you're talking to friends on Discord, it's going to capture that all within this one desktop audio track. But for your microphone, we are going to want to set that up. So as you can see, it's not recording any of my audio on here right now. So what you want to do is just click this little options wheel, go to properties, and under device right here, we just want to set this to whatever our microphone we want to use is. In my case, it's going to be this one right here. So now as soon as I click that, you can see it's recording my audio.
Recording gameplay has never been easier. Anyone can do it, but not many people can do it right. Laggy footage, blurry footage, or just no sound at all. Today we're going to show you how to record game footage in Streamlabs, all the settings to make that quality amazing, crisp, and clear, to make your microphone and game sound perfect, but then I'm going to show you the most important thing you will learn, something massive gaming YouTubers do for every recording, and that is how to record both your gameplay and a webcam at the same time inside Streamlabs without burning the webcam over the top of your game. This is so important because it gives you clean footage, meaning you can focus on one or the other, edit or zoom in on either without issue, and it makes your edits far more engaging for viewers. So let's go. Obviously, to do all of this, you need to install Streamlabs. So head to streamlabs.com, I'll link it in the description.
received it, and he will be sending it out today, tomorrow. But you should be getting that within the week now. So good news on all fronts. Congratulations on being the winner of the previous Scramboard Beasts, aka Fatality Game spin wheel. Good game, man. Thank you for the time. Much love. You can always go back to square one. You can always play Tony and Sparky and come back. Bless him. Cheers, man. I appreciate the time. Now, was it Nicholas? I can't just call you NHOJ, right? That's a mouthful. So Millsy's in the game. Dustin Val is in the game. Elliot is currently playing. So Kevin, please step up. Take a game with you, as I know you're heading out soon. And you'll be taking on Fatality James.
How's it going, everyone? John here, and welcome back to another Streamlabs OBS tutorial video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the layout editor. Now, the layout editor...
Shoot well, Kevin. Whoa. It's just a friendly, James. It's supposed to be fun. Good dance.
I need to go now. I don't have to do this.
And a low tone to follow it up.
Oh, I think his name's John Kennedy.